Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of Woman Enough podcast. We are so excited. It's been a long time coming. We're excited to discuss with y'all, dive into these conversations, but most importantly, grow together. Okay, so first and foremost, where my ladies at? Okay, where my ladies at? Shout out to all the ladies. Okay,
Yes.
whoop, whoop. My name is Michaela.
And I'm Brittany.
And I'm Julie.
All right. These are the lovely ladies of Woman Enough podcast. So y'all gonna get to know us a lot more throughout this entire series. Okay. So to kickstart our series, we thought it'd be very much important for our first topic. First question should be, what does it mean to be a woman? What does being a woman mean to you? Just defining what that means, because we're living in a society where there's just so many different perspectives and everyone's trying to put a label on women. So we're just going to dive into that and y'all see what our perspectives are. And hopefully it'll make you think about what being a woman looks like to you. So Brittany, would you like to take it away and let us know, what does being a woman look like to you?
Well, being a woman to me is being maternal, having strength, being a lover and a leader, powerful, but also it's none of those things. It's having a strong sense of identity and being the best you, but pretty much. You don't really have to put a label on yourself. You're you.
Absolutely. I definitely agree, especially with it having a strong sense of identity. You can't even call yourself a woman if you don't identify as a woman.
Exactly.
Okay, so who you are is so important. So making sure that if you say I'm a woman, that you know who you are, because a lot comes with that title. For sure. Thank you, Brittany. Thanks for sharing. Juju, what do you think a woman looks like?
Yeah, so I agree with both of you guys on having a strong sense of identity, but also I believe being a woman to me is just being confident, having self-love, being caring, being loving, being a sister, a wife, a mom, a daughter, a friend, and just loving yourself the way that you intend to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So.
Unapologetically being you.
Yes.
Okay. We have to be so many things. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
so we can't just call ourselves a woman, because so many other things come with that. So no, I definitely agree, Julie. You have to have all those components and then some. Okay.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I agree with what both of you lovely ladies said. To me, I definitely think being a woman means, most importantly, being resilient. So on top of whatever society is saying, whatever you've been told as a child, everything you're reading every single day, that you are still not only have a strong sense of who you are, but that every time life throws you punches, you still get up and you still be that woman that you're intended to be. So I just think so much goes into being a woman, but it's about that resilience. It's like, hey, if I'm going to call myself a woman, I'm going to get up today, tomorrow, and the next day, and making sure I'm the best version of myself, and that I'm representing myself with other women around me. So it's about being resilient. It's about being strong. It's about standing on your word and getting through life as such. So I just think there's so many things that go into being a woman, but it's most importantly about knowing yourself and being that person unapologetically. Okay.
Period.
Yes.
I think that also ties into our next topic, so we can jump right into that. So there's a lot of women in society. There's a lot of women of representation. Particularly, I can't talk. Dang.
Got you, sis. Particularly.
Yes, thank you. You may look up to, you may idolize. There's tons of social media, family, anyone. Who is it that you look up to, Julie?
I would say I definitely look up to my grandma. She's raised me and my two sisters since we were young, and had to deal with waking up extra early because she worked in Jersey. She had to make sure we were at school on time, made sure we had money for lunch. And I mean, this was elementary school to high school graduation. She's done this. So, and she still went to work every day. She's still working to this day. And I look up to her for that. Like, she's strong. Like, she did all that taking care of 3 girls. So I definitely look up to her.
If I had a hat on, be hats off to her because God bless her.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes I get jealous when people talk about their grandparents and stuff. I didn't have the luxury or privilege of growing up with grandparents. So I just think it's amazing for people to have that type of relationship, because I do think that just from hearing you explaining it, Julie, and hearing other people talk about their grandparents, like that's just the kind of love that's not replicated with your parents or your siblings or anybody else in your family. Like that's the person who created the person that created you. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I just think they have so much wisdom and things to give us. So appreciate your grandparents and the people that, have raised you, because they're not always going to be here. And especially your grandparents, they have some wisdom. They done seen some things that we can't even think about seeing. So just keep loving all them grandparents, because I'm definitely one of those jealous ones who wish they had a relationship with their grandparents, for sure. And boom, I guess it's me. Yes, I definitely, like Britt was saying, there's definitely so many women. And think about how far women have come, that we're able to be our amazing selves, especially be on social media, make movements. So there's like 1,000 women that I can just call out now, but I think somebody who's in society that I've always idolized, who's not a family member, but has been Miss Taraji P. Henson. Like, I can't tell y'all, like I've been rocking with Taraji until I can say Taraji. Okay, so back in the day, all the way from, it's hard out here for fam. I know y'all know, and I know what movie. Okay,
somebody sign her.
Sign me. You feel me? If she's watching this, okay, sis. Heard the vocals, but no, seriously, like if we can appreciate the woman that Taraji P. Henson is, we watched her go from small roles like what I've just mentioned, but just seeing her level up was just amazing. And to, even get her own role in Empire, but not only is she amazing and beautiful on screen, but she's also such an amazing person off screen too. She has her own show where she just solely talks about mental health in the Black community, mental health for women, men, whomever. And she definitely represents me, because that's exactly what I want to do. Make sure that women specifically feel secure in themselves so that they can be the best version of themselves. So I think she's the epitome of growth, strength, and just pushing through, especially being in an industry like the industry that she's in, all the pressures, but she's never changed the person she was in order to be successful. Yeah. How we feel about Taraji?
So you mentioned growth, her. And her story, if you've ever heard her talk about it or even just read up on it, she moved her child to California with, I believe it was like $500. She didn't have nothing. She just believed in herself, and she knew if the harder I work, I'm gonna get to where I gotta be. And now look at her. She had nothing. $500 in her son and nothing, but created so much more. And that just goes to show how strong and how, like Michaela said, how resilient women are. We can do anything as long as we put our mind to it. We have so much strength under our feet, under our hands, that sometimes we don't know how to use it. And I think when you have someone you idolize, it's important to have someone you idolize, because it gives you it gives you that strength. Like, okay, all right, she did that. Let me see. I think I could do that. And it's hard. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing easy about getting up every day and thinking to yourself, looking in the mirror and not being happy with yourself, or just not being happy in general. It's hard, and that's not something anyone expects you to just wipe off. Just carry it. Put that shit on your back. Put that on your back, and you do what you do with it. You either way, you look amazing with it, and whoever is looking at you from the background, not whoever. There's people looking at you from the back that you don't even know, and they're clapping for you.
Okay.
Keep that right there. There's always gonna be haters, but you're always gonna have a few of them back there clapping for you.
Yes, absolutely. And I believe, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead, Drew.
No, I was just gonna say it definitely does give you inspiration too.
Yes.
Like
For sure. And like, I'm pretty sure Taraji had maybe one person or multiple people tell her like, hey, you can do it. And she took that and she ran with it. I think that's what a lot of women just need for that support system. And this is why Woman Enough exists. It's like, if you don't have a support, watch us. Like, we support you. We don't know you, sis, but we support you and we love you and we're rooting for you. We're that invisible hand clap. Okay. So I think that's super important. And big shout out to Taraji.
No, yeah, shout out to Taraji, but more than having them one or two people that supported her, she also had those 4, 5, 10 people who didn't support her. So keep that in mind. I feel like that needs to be dug into our head, because we're never ever gonna get anywhere if we keep thinking about the people that ain't supporting us. That's a big downfall on our part. So
yeah, and this is a little thing I tell myself, like, the haters will always lurk, but winners always work. So it's like, you can hate on me all you want, but if I'm winning, like, I understand why you're hating. I'm giving you reason. You feel me? I'm giving you reasons. But yeah, before I switch off to Brittany, I would also want to say, like, just because like I've just watched this young woman who's also the same age as me, 23 years old, who's just like, she's just sprouted and blossomed to me. So I watched her on the show Grownish. I watched her when she was on that one Tyler Perry movie as a kid, but Chloe Bailey, y'all. Woo! It's like, it's so funny how I could be like proud mom moment, but I'm like, she's also my age. She's also my age, but you know, not only has she been acting since a young age and she's been using her voice, but it's like, dang, I watched this girl literally blossom into a beautiful woman. And, you know, everyone can say like, everyone always says it's about like Disney Channel stars and people that we've grown up watching, that, you know, oh, it makes me feel weird that they're being their best selves. I'm sorry, we cannot be children forever. And if this is how she decides to live her life and this is how she wants to leave her legacy, let that girl live. Okay, keep making those dance videos, keep dropping that song. Like, what? Yes. I keep smiling like I do. Stop playing. I can't wait for that to come out. But like, big shout out to Taraji P. Henson. Big shout out to Chloe Bailey. Like,
yes,
she's my spirit animal. She is my spirit animal right now. So, mwah, mwah, love you, ladies. But last but not least, Britt, who do you look up to? Who do you idolize?
Very easily, my mom.
Yes.
To me, my mother is everything that I've ever wanted to be in life. She's one of the strongest women I've ever met in my life, and she's very, very, very resilient. Everything that my mom has gone through, if I were to put that out there, which I won't, I feel like she would become everyone's idol. And I don't say this just because she's my mother. I say this because growing up with her, because I definitely did grow up with my mother, I've seen her tackle everything that was supposed to break her, and it never did. And I know, for being, you know, the black sheep of the family, or just alone, and some of the things she went through, I know it wasn't the easiest thing in the world, and raising me and by herself, and everything that she's just gone through. She woke up every day and she put those pants on that Michaela brought up, and she wore them. And now she's a perfect example to my kids. She's more than my mother at this point. Like, she's my best friend, and she's, like I said, everything I wish I can be and I inspire to be. And she's a hardworking woman. She's never, ever gave up. I never went without. She's making her dreams come true, and I salute her. And that's my mom, and I'm proud to say it. So that's the only person.
Shout out to the moms. Shout out to the moms. I definitely want to shout out my mother too. Like, I definitely agree with you. Like, moms are superheroes, y'all.
Yes, they definitely.
Moms are superheroes. Like, like the representation of whoever you grew up with. Like Julie says, you know, her grandmother, and then, you know, me and Brittany grew up with our mothers. It's like these women who take on the roles to raise us. Like, they're literally superheroes, making sacrifices just to make sure that we breathe in a good air. that, you know, that we live in a decent environment. Like moms do so much. And my mom specifically, like those jeans fit. Those pants, that mother jeans, they fit, you know what I mean? And now she can kind of take those jeans off and let us live our life. And even though I don't think moms ever take their pants off, you know what I mean? I don't think that they ever, no, they don't hang them up. So, you know, when you think about like as we get older and you're having kids and things like that, you're like, damn, I didn't know my mom went through all this.
Yes. I think
Definitely
that's
makes you appreciate them.
Biggest things. Like I gave my mom hell as a teenager, and it was because, you know, there's a lot of things you don't get when you're not a mom and when you're still young. And then I feel like once I turned like 18, things started turning around for me. Like, all right, don't get me wrong, I always had respect for my mom, but it just wasn't the respect I should have. So things started weighing on me, you know, like, okay, I should have never treated my mom that way, because now I'm seeing stuff for what it is. And now that I'm a mom, I look at my kids and I'm like, wow, like my mom did that. Like, because how am I doing it? And that's the only reason I feel like I could do it, is because my mother was the mom she was. And if she wasn't, I probably wouldn't be the mom that I am. So I'm grateful, and I think moms deserve plaques. There should be a Hall of Fame building, and they would have to be huge as hell, but they should all have a plaque, mama fame on the window somewhere.
Absolutely.
Definitely, for sure.
Shout out to all the mothers.
Yes, shout out to all the moms, for sure.
Shout out to
Definitely.
The moms, the grandmas who took up for the moms, and the
but the people who weren't even your mother but just played that role just because they loved you. Ooh.
Yeah.
Blood or not blood. Shout out to y'all, because your hard work does not go unnoticed. Period.
Don't.
Definitely doesn't.
Yeah.
So I have one last question for you ladies to just kind of wrap this up. So my question to you guys is, what experience have you had in your life that has made you realize, wow, I'm a woman? Like, what have you went through that has made you realize, like, I'm really a woman? So Michaela, do you want to start off?
Julie, that's a great question. Because I don't think that we often even, so on top of our discussion today, like we don't really define what a woman is. We're just living day-to-day life as a woman. But I don't think we even realize, like, oh shoot, what was your like, oh shoot moment that you realized that you were a woman? And I would say for me, it was leaving home for the first time. So a little bit about me, grew up in a Haitian Christian household. So imagine how like a little bit strict that was. But grew up with my older brother, who essentially like took care of us for a long time, and my two sisters. So I consider myself the middle child in these situations. And when my brother was 17 years old, he left, you know what I mean? And it was understandable. He left to be himself and figure out himself. And, you know, at 17, at 18, you're like, oh shoot, that's young for a young man to just feel like they're ready to go into the world.
Yeah.
But he felt like he was ready, and it kind of broke our heart a little bit, but we pushed through and we got through. But when I did so it's been a year since I've been living in Philadelphia, but it wasn't until the couple minutes before the U-Haul was outside of my parents' house to leave is when my dad decided to have a conversation with me. And Dad, don't kill me, I love you. But when my dad had the conversation with me and was like, do you really think, you know, being a young woman and leaving at your parents' house at this age, and I was 22, mind you, that this is how a young woman should carry herself? And that kind of took me aback, like, I'm sorry, did my brother have the red table talk?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I was young. I was young when he left. We have about 9 years on each other. So when he was 18, I was whatever age I was. And so I didn't really, understand, but I would hope that the same energy that's being given towards me as I'm about to leave your house for good, that he got the same conversation. So that made me realize and appreciate the fact that, hey, I am the first girl to leave my parents' house. And I'm damn sure confident in knowing that I can provide myself with a decent life without my parents. You know what I mean? So that was kind of my first like wake up call, like, hey, my brother probably didn't get this talk, and I have to appreciate this talk so that I can now appreciate all the moves that I'm trying to make in my adulting life. Because like, hey, we're women and we have to get up and do this. Like, I'm sorry, we can't just, we can't rely on mommy and daddy our whole lives. We have to get up and get out there. So I think moving here to a city I've never lived in, around people that look like me all the time, like, it's just been an amazing experience so far. And then living with the person that, God willing, I get to spend the rest of my life with. It's been a journey. It's been a journey, but definitely leaving your parents' house, like, makes you realize so much about yourself. Like, whether it's college, whether it's leaving for the first time, like, leave your home, y'all. Leave your home and discover your purpose. You know what I mean? Discover a sense of self. Because since then, I just felt like such a better woman. Not because I said deuces to my family, but it's because I said yes to myself for the first time in a long time. So that was the big experience for me. And I hope that y'all, share your experiences too. Like, I want to hear from y'all too. And the ladies who moved out their house, like, what did you struggle with? What did you think you couldn't do? Like, talk to me. We want to hear these things. So yeah, that's my experience. Comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you can even leave us a message on Instagram and we're gonna read it.
We will respond. We will get back to you. But yeah, let us know.
We will, for sure. Definitely get back to you.
Britt, what was your experience? I was like, damn, I'm a woman.
So I have two. My first one was because when we got married, we were in the process of moving out my mother's house. So we were actually wanting to move to Pittsburgh, but we also were trying for my daughter. So I did get pregnant. And I think that's around the time that we announced to my mother that, we're going to tie the knot. And I kind of got that talk, the talk your dad gave you, but it was like, I think it was more so because she felt like she was losing her best friend. Like I said, I grew up with my mother. It's always been my mother and I. So for her, she took it hard, and it resulted in, this, well, is this something you really want to do? Like, you obviously can't live here forever because you're getting married. He's not going to want to live, like, that was the plan. We're moving. And then, I found out I was pregnant, got married. I did lose that baby, and then I got pregnant with my daughter. So it was like, okay, we moved. Everything was so fast. We married and then moved right after our honeymoon. Like, we got back, we were moving in a week. So that was a big, okay, I'm having my first child with, finally having my first child with my husband now. So, and I'm moving out my house at the same time. I'm leaving my mother, and my mother, I was in a cocoon. Now I'm not. That was definitely a big eye opener. Like, okay, how am I going to do this? I'm not far from my mom, but how am I going to do this without her? Because I'm so used to this. And then when it really, really, really kicked in is when I gave birth. My mom was there with me, my husband and I, and my mom. And I think before you give birth, like, you're about to have a baby, you're about to be a mom, that all these responsibilities are about to come flooding onto you, but you don't expect the feeling that you get when you hold your child. You expect to love them like crazy, but you don't expect to be flooded with all these emotions that you don't know what to do with them. So, like, when I gave birth, and before giving birth, I always say, I'm going to cry. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I'm just going to cry. I didn't. I was flooded with so many emotions that I didn't know what to do. I was just so happy. Like, and it was just a relief. I'm a mom now, but like, then it was, oh my gosh, I'm a mom now. Like, what? Like, this is crazy. Especially because I've been trying so hard. Like, I wanted nothing but to be a mom. And then watching my mom grandparent for those first moments was like, yeah, this is real. Like, I'm a mom now. I'm a grown woman. Like, I'm married. I'm a mom. I made my husband a dad. Like, this is crazy. So that's what set into me. Like, okay, I had so many different responsibilities now, not even as a mother, but as a daughter, as a wife. I got
as a woman.
Yes, as a woman, I had to, and I spent many nights when I was in the hospital crying at night. I got home and I'd cry. And it's not because I was sad, just because I did it. Like, and I was scared a little bit because, I was terrified of something happening to my kids, and God forbid. But it was just like, I can do this. I got this. And this is what God's purpose for me. I went through everything that I went through because he was planning the better. He had the plan much better than what I had envisioned. And right there alone, I felt I could do anything. I gave birth. I'm married to my high school sweetheart, the love of my life. I have my mother by my side. I got this, like, and that's all it took for me. I mean, I'm still a work in progress. I'm a big work in progress, but that's what made me, I gotta go hard for mine. That's basically it. And a woman to do that.
That's so beautiful. Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Britt. Seriously. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. It's like in your grief and everything you went through, God was already making a plan for you to be this amazing woman. You don't even know it. You don't even know it. So I'm so glad that you stood on his words and your own understanding too sometimes. And now you're this amazing mom. You're this wife. And now you're a sister to us. You know what I mean? So I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Very, very much proud of you.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Right, so I guess it's me. I would definitely say, kind of what Britt said, becoming a mom has made me realize I am a woman, because although just like you, Michaela, we're kind of opposites. You moved from the Poconos to Philly. I moved from Philly to the Poconos. And I was the first girl to move out the house. So like, I mean, when I did that, I was still I wasn't young-minded because I was moving in with a man, my boyfriend at the time, but I wouldn't say I didn't have that much responsibility. I was just kind of living life day to day, enjoying myself. But once I became a mom, I'm like, okay, yeah, there's no more playing around. Like, I have a child, like I have someone who's about to be looking up to me. I can't be doing the same. Not that I was doing anything bad before, but there's certain things that I wouldn't want my child to witness growing up. So I definitely say becoming a mom, and especially because I live 2 hours away from my family. Like, my son's grandparents are 2 hours away. His aunts, uncles, cousins, they're all 2 hours away. So I wouldn't say I had to learn how to become a mom on my own, because they're always a phone call away. But it's just me and Rick with our son 24/7. Like, so I don't really have like, oh, can you watch him for a couple of minutes while I run to the store? So I'm like a full-time mom all the time. And that's made me realize, like, you have to be on it. You're a woman, you're a mom. You have to do things right by your child at the end of the day. So yeah, definitely becoming a mom has made me realize I'm a woman. Like, yeah. So
yeah, I love when women put like my broke best friend, like, what is their child's birthday? I'm like, it's really like that though. Like, you don't pay rent.
Yeah, no, every time
everything, like, you my broke best
every
friend.
time we're in the stores now, I see a car, I'm like, okay, I have to get him this. And I'm like, all right, but he doesn't need this because he has 1 million of them in the house.
Okay.
I went to the grocery store today and got him 5 Hot Wheels that he didn't need because he has all these toy cars already. But it's just like,
that's your broke best friend. He can't buy it, so you're like, that's my best friend, I gotta buy it.
I feel like if I go to the store and I leave any store I go to without anything for my kids, I'm bad at mom. I'm a horrible mom. I feel like I have to. Like, there's no way I can go to the store and not get something for my kids. And now I have 2 of them, so I'm like, I'm gonna be broke.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be broke best friend. They're gonna have everything.
Okay, well, we can't both be broke.
No,
something has to give.
How you gonna get the toys?
Right.
Oh my God. But Julie, I'm also so proud of you too, like making that big transition from moving away from your family and knowing that, hey, I am about to give life, but I can do this.
Yes.
And you've been excelling, baby. I'm so proud of you. Like just watching you grow too. And as a person, like Julie was quiet when I first met her too. So it's amazing to see my sis just come out of her shell too. It's like being a mom is not your only identity, baby. Like you are so much more than just being, you know, a stay-at-home, whatever that means to you. Like you're gonna define what being a woman means to you, and Wapo's gonna appreciate you so much more just as he grows up. So I'm so proud of you.
Yes, I'm proud
Thank
of you.
you.
As well.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate
didn't get
it.
to witness the little growth she talking about with whatever little story, but I'm glad I'm here now and you know getting to know you two ladies, and especially Julie, because I feel like we have a lot in common with the baby. So I really, really, really want our kids to meet each other. But
Yeah,
I do want to
for sure
ask,
they will.
yeah,
They will.
I can't wait. I do want to ask Michaela, because you know you do have your nephew. So
Yes.
how is mama life doing you? Like, is this preparing you? Is this?
Yeah.
I know it's probably not your first time taking them, but
Listen, so backstory for the viewers. My little sister she is 21 years old. She has a 1-year-old who just turned 1. His name is Makai, and he's been a blessing. He's such a blessing, happiest kid. But to answer your question, yeah, so we have him, it's Thursday, whatever day it is, we have him for 4 days.
Thursday.
And so we drove my sister to the airport. You know, she's on her little vacation. Everything was cool in the car, you know, car rides, happy, cool. The minute we walked into the house, I realized how tired I am. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's nap time for him too. He said, no, sis. Like, it is not also nap time for me. So he, you know, starts to screaming fit and all that. I'm like, Then I realized, like, oh, shoot, like, my sister's not here. So usually, you know, when a child that's not yours is acting up or whatever, this was nice. You pass them to their mother.
Yep.
I am the mother right now. So it's been an interesting experience. And it's made me, just in the few hours that he's been here, it's made me appreciate y'all as women, because this is a tough job. Like you literally, sometimes you can't just leave him crying and shouting. And we have neighbors. I live in Philly. We don't have a mansion. So we, you know, they can hear what's going on. So you're like, out of respect for myself and the neighbors, I have to figure out how you're going to stop crying.
Or
to
stop the cops from coming to your house.
Oh, you feel me? And thinking that I'm abusing children or whatever's going on. Like, that's not the case. It's just, he's a little bit dramatic and he's 1 year old. And I have to be, you know, me and my partner, we have to be the ones to bring him back down to where he's not yelling and screaming. So just like trying all these different ways to get him to be quiet was just like, and and then you're also tired too. So it just made me like appreciate not only my sister, who's a young mom, but to appreciate all moms. And this is definitely good practice for me, because I definitely want kids. I want hella kids, actually, just to build a legacy and leave things behind. But having my nephew for these couple of days has really like made me appreciate you guys and appreciate all women more, because this is not an easy job. It's not easy at all. So yeah, I can imagine the moms who do this full-time, but then also have full-time jobs, and also are expected to be mom, sister, counselor, everything in one. So just a big shout out to all the representations of women that we discussed today. Big shout out to the mothers, the sisters, the everyone who identify themselves as a woman, no matter if you were born as one, what body parts you were born as. If you wake up and say you are a woman, be that and be the best version of that.
Yes.
Period. So love you, Makai. Love you, Malay. But come get your baby on Monday. Look, come get your baby.
Oh man. Yeah, she will see that tomorrow. She gonna be like,
facts. I'm like,
I'm like, yeah, my flight got delayed actually. So yeah.
You feel me? Oh my gosh, ladies. I think this was an amazing first topic. Seriously.
I do too.
Yeah, me too.
I'm definitely interested in the feedback, because you know, I definitely want to know like what you ladies think, like what a woman is, but also like I want to hear those, you know, your experiences. I love hearing other, like, you know, walks of life, other women talk about things, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of us can relate in some way, shape, or form, whether it's motherhood, whether it's just issues you've gone through growing up or as a woman. Even the sensitive parts, like there's so many sensitive topics that women don't get to talk about because either we're afraid or we feel like it's unacceptable or not appropriate. And I'm here to say it's appropriate to speak on it. You will never heal until you speak on it. And you don't have to speak it out to the world. I mean, I just feel like we shouldn't be so, we should be able to speak about things that have hurt us as a woman, because don't get me wrong, I feel like men go through it too, but more so it's women, and we don't get the chance to tell our side, explain why we are the way we are. Or, you know, some men just, not men, some people just go straight to, you know, maybe the way you handle yourself, the way you wear your clothes, or a lot of times people don't understand certain things stem from trauma. And that's something as a woman we go through a ton. So talk about it. Like, hit us up in the inbox, something. I'm pretty sure like we've gone through it. There's something you want us to talk about, we want us to touch up on, and you want to be engaged in, bring it up.
Please do.
It definitely, we will listen. We will, whatever you want us to do, we'll do it. As long as it's not, you know, some crazy shit, we'll do it. But we definitely want to make this, we want you guys to engage. We want this to be something that you guys are a part of as well. You don't physically have to be in the video. I mean, maybe one of these days we'll have some special guests, but we do want you guys to be a part of this sisterhood we got going on.
Woman Enough is an outlet. Like, all of us, we're doing this because we all come through all from different parts of life. So we're here as an outlet to y'all. Like, we are Woman Enough because you are enough. You're enough. You're enough. You're enough. The girl in the back, you're enough. Woman over here, you're enough. Like, we're all enough. So if you've never felt that and you never heard that before, Woman Enough podcast just told y'all that you are enough. And we want to see you every week. Okay. We want to see you every single week tuned in.
And we want to tell you personally, because I feel like us telling the computer or the phone or something, you don't really get the message. So if you engage with us, you will get the message. We will get to know you. I want to know faces. I want to know names. So when you comment, oh, that's so-and-so. Oh, hey girl. You know? Like, I want that type of interaction with you guys. I want so much more than just a podcast, guys. Like, I really want a sisterhood, which we're creating right here, but I want it with you all. And I want to seriously be that, like she said, the outlet. I want you guys to be able to come to the inbox if you feel like, you know, you can't talk to your friend about something. One of us going to answer you, if not all.
Right. And let's jump on a group FaceTime, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do. But I know so many women don't have a voice. And do y'all see how many women have forged the way so that we can do a podcast, so that women can speak and that women can be celebrities and all these things? So many women have paved the way for us. So like, let's keep paving the way and making sure that all of our voices get heard, because you matter, you are enough, and we're going to tackle this thing called life together. Okay.
Yeah, we definitely are.
That's true.
Yeah. So you guys can follow us on Instagram at Woman Enough Podcast. You can follow us on YouTube with IBTE Network, I believe.
Yes. Please subscribe.
Yes, IBTE Network. You guys can tune into all their series. I actually have a cooking series on there. Michaela, you have Empower Shower
coming very, very, very soon.
Yes, and we are the new female podcast, Woman Enough Podcast. Y'all stay tuned, like, subscribe, like they said, comment, interact with us, and you know, get to know us.
We got juicier. The juice is coming.
For sure. Definitely.
We gotta start off a little slow. The juice is coming, so be sure.
Yes. Please stay tuned, y'all. Like we said again, every Friday, as many Fridays as possible. If we're not here for a Friday, we're gonna let y'all know in advance. But you'll see us on a Friday, whether it's a live, whether it's a whatever. But Fridays at 5:00. Please look forward. Please clear your schedule for Woman Enough, because we're here for y'all, and you are enough.
I don't care if you gotta be at work. Like,
put your earpods in.
For sure.
Wait, hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. No, I'm kidding. Don't lose your job, but on your break, take
You
that.
feel me? Yes, well,
Yeah.
we will be on YouTube. Like, we'll obviously put our clips and stuff on our Instagram page, but our whole videos will be on our YouTube channel. So please make sure you subscribe to that. And until
Yeah.
next time, ladies, remember you are enough. You are loved. We love you.
Mwah. Where my ladies
Bye,
at?
y'all.
Where my ladies at?